Hi, I'm Bill Price, the sports editor here at the New York Daily News, and we're going to talk NFL draft. We have our NFL draft expert, Ebenezer Samuel. The draft is Thursday. First question on everyone's mind is who will be the number one pick?
I think one way or another it's probably going to be Luke Joeckel. He's a big 6'6", 315-pound left tackle from Texas A&M. It's an odd situation, though, because you get the feeling that the Kansas City Chiefs really don't want to pick a whole lot.
Right.
They've had a lot of guys in. You know, they don't have a whole. I mean, they have a lot of needs, but there's not this Cam Newton or this Andrew Luck, this surefire superstar in the draft. Joeckel's a good left tackle. You can plug him in for like 10 years, but he's not a star. So you get the feeling they might try to trade the pick.
So, all right, perhaps the biggest name in the draft is Manti Te'o. Not only because of what he did at Notre Dame, but of course the whole fake girlfriend scandal.
Yeah.
A lot of people talk that may have hurt his draft stock. Did it? Where do you think he'll land when all is said and done?
First of all, I don't think the fake girlfriend thing is going to hurt as much. He acquitted himself very nicely at the combine, just dealing with all the questions from us media. We attacked him pretty well, and the word coming out of a lot of the meetings he's had with teams is that he's handled it nicely. So I don't think that's going to be an issue. The bigger issue could be his limitations as a player. I mean, at his fastest, he ran like a 4.7, 4.75 40 at Notre Dame, or at his pro day at Notre Dame. That's not great. He's a middle linebacker. That's a position that's kind of been a little bit minimized in today's NFL. So, you know, here you have a middle linebacker who's more like an he's more like an emotional leader than anything else. So, you know, is that a great thing?
Could he go in the first round, you think, or no?
I could see him going in the first round, but really late. He's not a Patrick Willis guy. He's not going to go in the top 10. He's not that transcendent middle linebacker. He's the kind of guy. I could see him going maybe very late to the Baltimore Ravens. The Giants had him in for a workout earlier last week.
Right.
But I don't see them taking him. It's interesting. They'll work out a lot of players and not take him. I think they were looking at him more as a second-round guy. More likely, I see him fitting in that 30 to 40 range, maybe in the second round.
Okay, who's the one guy in the draft not too many people know about, and a year from now, maybe 2 years from now, could be a superstar in this league?
I won't say. I'll give you a guy who won't be a superstar first, but who could be kind of this year's Alfred Morris, and that's this kid from Stony Brook, actually, just Long Island. His name is Miguel Masonet. He's represented by the same guy who represents Joe Flacco, Joe Linta. He's not going to go get guys unless they're pretty good. Masonet is like a 5'9", 215-pounder. He's got a little bit of Alfred Morris in him, kind of a banger, kind of a tough guy. I could see him kind of being like a sleeper running back in this draft. First-round guys or guys who might be on the fringe there. We've heard there's this wide receiver from Tennessee named Cordero Patterson. He's kind of one of the bigger names in the draft. He's a 6'2", 215-pound guy. Runs like 4.4 and looks built like a linebacker. He's going to go in the first round, but he has a teammate named Justin Hunter, who ran in the 4.4s, around the same measurables, like 6'1", 200 pounds. And he's kind of a sleeper. He's a guy who could go in the second round, but he could evolve into a nice wideout.
Okay, then on the flip side, who's the guy that's going to be picked high that team will regret it a year from now, 2 years from now? I hate to say, who's the Ryan Leaf of this year's draft?
The Ryan Leaf of this draft actually could wind up playing the same position as Ryan Leaf. Teams are going to reach for teams always reach for quarterbacks. But there's no Andrew Luck this year. There's no Robert Griffin this year. There's not even a Ryan Tannehill. So you have Geno Smith, who very well could go in the top 5, but there's he's simply not on that level. He doesn't throw the deep ball as well. He played in like I guess you could say a little bit of a simpler offense in West Virginia. But Geno Smith is going to go in the top 5. He's going to go 2 picks lower than Robert Griffin went last year. And then there's another quarterback, E.J. Manuel, out of Florida State. Pretty much he's like, if you went to a lab and you built a quarterback, you would build E.J. Manuel. There's a real high-risk reward. He can be really good. He could be the next Colin Kaepernick, or he could be the next Ryan Leaf.
The Jets right now pick 13. They could get the number 9 pick if they trade with the Bucks. Who's wearing a Jet jersey at Radio City Music Hall next Thursday night?
I'll give you 2 names that are possible. One could be Darrelle Revis' possible replacement. That's a D. Milliner, cornerback from Alabama. He ran really well at the combine. I think he ran either high 4.3s, low 4.4s, depending on who you asked. Plays the same position. That can't hurt. So he's one guy to watch for. Barkevious Mingo is another name I've heard a lot about. He's a real high cut, like a probably 6'2", 235-pound linebacker. from LSU. Great pass rushing guy. There are questions about his strength. He benched, I think, 225, like 18 to 19 times. Didn't bench again at LSU, so he didn't really answer the questions there.
The Giants, who do you think that will end up on the Giants on draft day?
Manti Te'o is not one of those guys.
Okay.
I would probably look for them to go for a tight end. Zach Ertz and Tyler Eifert. Yes, they went and got a tight end in free agency this year. They picked up Brandon Myers, a nice guy from the Oakland Raiders. He's a solid player, but he's essentially it's a 4-year contract with 3 years voidable. That's a 1-year deal, so they're going to need a replacement for him. Look for them to either go with Zach Ertz, he's a tight end from Stanford, very good hands, or Tyler Eifert. He plays the same position from Notre Dame.
So there you have it. The draft, again, is Thursday, April 26th. Let's see how our experts' picks work out.